Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Saturday, August 17, 2024, a little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. When you say you would share something with somebody that you felt that sense that they may be receptive, right? And then you ask them what they felt was real, right? And they would probably say, I'm real, and those trees are real, and everything around me is real. Everything's real. What are you talking about? We have for so long been this illusion where we believe that everything around us is real. You touch it and feel it and experience it. How can that not be real? It's got to be convincing. So we create these illusions to be very convincing so that we believe they're real. Now, how do you know what is real and what isn't real? Truly, though, okay? What isn't real always changes so that we can continue to experience. If it never changed, we wouldn't experience anything, would we? This body that we're in, right? It changes. So is it real? Or is it a creation of energetic fields and principles that we house ourselves in? And the physical material is created so that we can experience it. Totally, completely different than what we really are. That which changes is not real. That which doesn't change is real. The only thing that is real is the God within you, the pure consciousness. That's the creation. That's what creates everything. Now here, we enter these bodies and we don't have an ego mind. Yeah, it doesn't come in. So we're like, I've said several times, we're like empty vessels. Like a sponge waiting to be wet. So all of this, the mother, the father, the brothers and sisters, the cousins, all of it is programming. And since you don't have any memory of anything before entering that body, that's what you go by. You go by the programming that others program you. It's like, Billy, don't do that again, that's bad. And then Billy might say, why, Mommy, why is that bad? And then Mommy says, because it's just bad. Don't do it anymore. So, whatever it is that you were doing and your mother told you it was bad, you just don't do it anymore. Now, you don't know why it's bad because she didn't tell you, but that's part of the programming. There's a lot of voids, empty spaces, that as we experience more in this body, we weave other things into it. As we make our own perspectives and attitudes and outlooks. Now, all along, since our programming We believe that we have to go, go get things, get them, go out there, get that. And it works at times. It's not completely void of success. But we all work at it. And a lot of the times there's a lot of exasperation, disappointment, irritation, anger, all of it. All low frequencies. Do you believe that we have been kept through our programming in low frequency? And whenever we shine, so to speak, or we embrace higher frequencies, it's absolutely spectacular. But it's not that often. Why is that? Now, this civilization shines at certain, when there's disasters and others are in harm's way, and which shows our true nature, our natural state of being, is what's basically helping each other. We help each other. It's a natural state of being. Why would we help each other? Because we're helping ourselves? Because none of us are separate? We're all one. Just because the God is in the body, we get this program to believe that we're separate. Mary Jane and Billy Johnson are separate, right? They have different lives, different family. They're all separate. And see, we're not talking about the body. We're talking about the God within the body. So in a way, we all are experiencing all. It's like someone is explaining something to you, and you just automatically you come out and you say, "I know what you mean." And they go to themselves, how do they know what I mean? How do they know that? Because I'm experiencing it. They haven't experienced it. How do they know that? How do they know I know what you mean? See, there are times where we have the veil of deception it kind of moves away, and we kind of blend with each other, the gods that we are. And we're all just reflections of the gods that we are, acting out in these bodies different scenarios, different experiences. But the one, which we all are, is experiencing it all. Everything. All at once. So you take 8.5 billion of us on this planet, right? And everybody's different. Everybody's experiencing all kinds of things on this planet. In this very now moment. Parts of the planet, it's at night. Other parts, it's morning. Other parts, it's afternoon. I mean, it's just a cavalcade of different things. But we're all experiencing it as one. That might be confusing to so many people because we've been so programmed to be separate. You ever notice that? When you look through the past, you see these things as a watcher and not a judger, but you're watching and you're going, wow, look at this. And when people get angry, it really is love under pressure. Okay? That's why when you see somebody that's angry, it's pretty much love under pressure. Now, many don't understand that. Well, if it's love under pressure, why would they act that way? They don't. Many of us do not know how to share the love that we are. We just don't. It makes sense because we're so disjointed in these bodies that we have embraced the material physical so much, we've been so seduced by it, that we forgot to embrace the God that we are. So when it comes, and this is what's interesting, why is that for us? Why do we run from that emotion rather than embrace it? What do you think it is? What's the key denominating factor? What is it? For all of us, could be different ways. It's protecting the ego mind. We feel that we must protect ourselves from being disappointed, hurt, let down. And it's so ironic because we, the gods that we are in these bodies, are pure love. Romantic love is love, but it's a very small part of this. This love is way beyond that. And we are pure love. The gods that we are. Yet, we fight it, we try to ignore it, and we run from it because we're in the grips and mastership of the ego mind. That's why we do it. Now, in the heart mind, you've surrendered to the God that you are. You've let go of things. And, sometimes we let go of things all day long because they keep coming back in. We go to bed at night and we're surrendering things. We're not giving them up. We're just letting go of them. We realize that this life is temporary, and we realize that everything that we accumulate is temporary. So we look at it as we enjoy it while it's here. That's it. We don't form attachments to it. If it's gone tomorrow, we have the opportunity to enjoy it today. That's it. See, but that's a toughie, because this is why we protect ourselves from deep eternal love, because we're under the mastership of the ego mind. That doesn't mean we know that. We're totally oblivious to it. And we believe that, rightfully so, that this is the way life is. This is an unraveling, all right, is what we're doing. It's like you've got a ball of string. Or even better, have you ever had, holidays, you take the colored lights, right, or the white light colored lights, then you wrap them up and in a ball, whatever. And inevitably, you take them and you take them out. If you don't store them right, most people, they just, wad them together and put them in a box, and that's it. So you ever notice it when the holiday comes around and you go in the box, you take these lights out, and it's like somebody weaved them together. So you say, I'm not going to go out and buy another string of lights. I'll just sit here, relax, and unwind them. Kind of like what we're doing. We're unwinding things that have been so tied up and tightened within us in this life that we've decided to relax, to let go. Because it's been a very long time since we've done that for ourselves. Because the ego mind is so demanding, and it's always wanting something. You ever notice that? There's always something. It doesn't have to be humongous, but there's always a little thing here, a little thing there that's just kind of tapping on you all the time. Oh, I can't just sit here all day and do nothing. I've got to get things done. See, do you believe in this very now moment, do any of us really relax? Yeah, artificial, people think that they relax. You have a couple of toddies and you get a little high and you're relaxed, right? Or the fun thing is where somebody picks up a cigarette. Well, I got to have a cigarette because that'll relax me. And the funny thing is that it does the opposite. I know, because about, was it 40 years ago now, almost, where I smoked cigarettes. And it constricts the blood vessels. It actually tightens up the body. It doesn't relax the body. It's wild how we have these perceptions that we've been programmed about. And these different things that we introduce to ourselves that we feel is going to make us relax. When in these meditations, you relax into the body. That's the only way that any of us are going to find relaxation. Relaxing into the body. That's it. And people have, throughout the ages, tried everything to relax. You know, drug-induced hallucinations and all that stuff. You know, that's not relaxation. You know, Edgar Allan Poe used to be high all the time when he did his works. You know, other entertainers would get high throughout the ages. And this is an artificial world that they pull themselves into. But in the meditation application, that we relax into the body. This is how we go into the now. And the only way we do that is to let go of everything. Let go of your life. Let go of everything, all of it. Just let it go. Now, if you created experiences for yourself where you lost everything and you were, you didn't even have a penny to your name, that is something very special. The reason it is because you can refer to it to kind of remind you what it's like to not have anything. It's huge, the impact that it has, because you can always reflect upon that to kind of make sure that you don't forget that everything is fleeting, that everything, no matter what it is, can be gone tomorrow. That body you're in can be gone tomorrow. Okay? You could have 15 houses. They could be gone tomorrow. You could have a yacht, a private plane. That could be gone tomorrow. That's for all of us. All of us. You know, I don't care if someone is a bazillionaire. That could be gone tomorrow. Either way. Well, how can that happen? Well, either they leave the body or something is created so they can experience total loss. And to know the difference between having and not having. Now, I'm not saying go out and get penniless and broke and everything. No. What I'm saying is that if you are fortunate enough to experience total loss, and we're talking material, physical, right? It allows you to stay in deep gratitude every single second of existence. Now, if you've never experienced loss like that, how are you going to compare? Say, well, it's not that difficult. You could, in meditation, sit with yourself and move into gratitude because you're in that body. And then you would say to yourself, wonder what will it be like when I'm not in this body? A whole different ball game, believe you me. Okay? You hear me say it a lot. I can't say it enough, is that we lose. And you'd be surprised how quickly we lose that. What is it? The physical. Okay? Smelling apple pie bacon in the oven. Do you think as gods that we can smell apple pie bacon in the oven? No. These are things that they're little, they may seem insignificant to us, but they're huge. They're absolutely huge. How many of us in this very now moment, on this planet, at this time, are taking all of this for granted? How many things in this life, and they don't have to be catastrophic. They could be very small that we take for granted. You know, I would, through the years, you know, I've worked with quadriplegics, paraplegics. There's an anomaly that happens sometimes to the body. Not only are they quadriplegic, but some of the organs are outside the skeletal structure, which makes them very vulnerable. So they're not protected by things. You know, we have a rib cage, and, you know, we have the lungs, and we have certain things that are kind of protected. But can you imagine having your organs outside of that, okay, and being a quadriplegic? And I refer to that a lot, too, not as a negative or depressing, but how much we do take for granted these bodies. It's amazing. Well, when you start to discover, man, I've been programmed to the hilt. Now, you're not angry, you're gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times, but you begin to discover, wow, I've been whammied on this planet. I have been programmed left and right. Now, you're not going, well, these people program me and I'm going to get revenge on it. No, they didn't know any different. They programmed you because they were programmed a similar way. This is a cycle amongst us, all of us. Now, some of us are deeply programmed through trauma, emotional trauma, physical trauma as we're growing up. That's heavy duty because that leaves a deep scar, kind of a scar, within us. We carry that, and it influences our happiness, everything. It influences everything. Now, it doesn't mean that we connect with that because we have literally suppressed it for so long, but it affects us. And we don't surrender to it, we don't embrace it, and we don't sit down with it and say, okay, what do you need? So that we can dispel it, so to speak. Embrace it. Love it. And then let it go. You smell bacon. Most of us will smell bacon, and it has a great smell for most of us, okay? We just like the smell of it. Even when I was vegan, I would smell bacon, and it was just intoxicating, just the scent of it. It kind of lights up things. Smells, sounds, and tastes, and touch, and how do you feel when you hug somebody? No, we don't do a lot of that. If you noticed, we don't do a lot of that. Oh yeah, there's, you know, you get once in a while you get the family together and everybody's hugging and stuff like that, and that's a good feeling. But I mean, we don't do that a lot. Why? Because we're so stressed out. We haven't let go of anything. We just keep hanging on to everything. Oh, wait a minute, I got a little bit more room. Come on in, we'll put you there. And the only way that we're going to discover true freedom is how? How are we going to discover that? Within. That's where it is. That's where our peace is. That's where our freedom is. That's where we truly are wild and free. We enter these bodies, we don't have a clue. Zero. Doesn't matter how many lifetimes you have traversed, say, you don't know. So we start over again in physical material form, but we accumulate all of the experience with the God that we are. Somebody might remember, let's say someone's having a conversation with you, and they say to you, I remember you when you were in this life. Here's a picture of you. Wouldn't that be wild? But see, it's different when you experience that. Because you don't quite remember things. and you're looking at a picture of somebody you were in a past life. And now you're in this body, in this life. And where's your focus? The life you're in. Not that life. That's long gone. So it gets pretty delicate when somebody says, I want to know all my past lives, all of them, in detail. What do you think would happen if you are not spiritually balanced and you have not discovered who and what you are, and your ego mind is still in charge, and the thoughts are still in charge? You haven't mastered either of them, but yet you want to know all your past lives in detail. What do you think would happen? Yeah, it would be quite an experience, wouldn't it? Because the ego mind's there. Now, short of a frontal lobotomy, you are not going to, because without those steps, you're not going to be, and you can't cut corners with that. No technology. If you know, people think, well, it'll be technology where it'll all be accelerated and done within minutes. Well, then you won't learn. How was it? Then down the road, someone says, well, hey, how was that for you? How was that, the discovery of all your past lives in detail? How did that play with you since you had not mastered your ego mind and you had not mastered your thoughts? You'd go insane. You really would go insane. You'd have to leave the body. Some things we must learn. Okay? This one of the main reasons we exist is to create the experiences so that we can experience them and learn. Makes sense, right? If you had somebody that, birthed into a family, very wealthy family, okay? Now, they never knew hardship, financial at least, They had everything they ever wanted. They never did any manual labor. In fact, as they came into, as that body got old to, and that's as we call it, adulthood, they never did it. They never washed a dish. They never vacuumed a floor. They never did, laundry. And whenever they would accumulate any kind of clothes, and if the clothes got out of date, they'd just throw them away and get new ones. Right? Now, they've never experienced that other side. To be deeply grateful for what they've experienced on the side that they're currently immersed in. Right? What would you choose? Let's just say you had a wish and the wish would come true. What would you choose? Would you choose the life that they have? Or would you choose a more spicier one? Or you actually did do laundry and you actually did do these things. And then later on, right, you grew into wealth, but you always remembered that, hey, I know how to do laundry, I can do this and I can do that. No matter what occurs in this transition for this civilization, remember one thing. That we're here to experience. Now, if you just experience one side of the coin, what do you think's what if we all had that? Right? What if you didn't know what manual labor was? So you could know the difference, right? So you say, okay, I've done manual labor. And before I had all this, I didn't have anything. See, people who don't have a lot don't know what it's like to be wealthy until they're wealthy. People that are wealthy that have never not had anything don't know what it's like. It's kind of skewed. Have you ever met anybody that's been programmed into that compartment? Their viewpoint upon it. There's people that will look at other people and say, I'm better than them. And that is an absolute lie. Blatant lie. Why are you better than them? Because I have more than them. Do you really? Because everything you have could be gone tomorrow. You could leave that body in the next hour. You could be the healthiest thing on the face of this earth. But something could occur, and you could end up leaving that body. You could walk outside, go across the street, get hit by a bus. Something fall on you. It's happened. I've had friends through the years where that's happened too. A friend of mine downtown, 52nd Street, New York. Some of you probably know where that's at. He's walking across. It wasn't a rush hour either. He starts to walk across the street, okay. And yeah, there's signs and lights, and he's walking along, and out of the clear blue, this car comes screaming around a corner and hits him, and he flies about, I don't know, it must have been 100 feet through the air. And right through a restaurant window, and he ends up on a dinner table. Well, put it bluntly, he's no longer in that body. Healthy, never did anything to disrupt his body, very giving, caring, okay? But he did one thing. He wasn't paying attention. He just wasn't. We all do that, and it's because we're an ego mind and not heart mind. We're not quite focused on things. You ever been doing something and you kind of go, wait, I must be still asleep, because you're doing something that's just totally crazy. You might be trying to season your hand instead of the food. We all do that. We kind of slip in and out. How do you feel when you're grateful for something? Genuinely. Not for convenience, but you're genuinely grateful for something, and you can feel it in your heart. Doesn't have to be a big thing. Doesn't have to be spectacular. It could be a little thing. You could be traveling somewhere and you're going, ooh, I'm low on fuel. But I know I'll make it to the gas station. And you know what? You make it to the gas station. And then you say to yourself how grateful you are. Then you see how grateful you are for the transportation. Have you ever lost your independence? You ever done that in this life so far? Where you don't have a vehicle, and before you had a vehicle, you would drive places, travel here and there, and take it all for granted because you could just zip here and zip there and zip here. Then something occurs and you don't have transportation. So then you start going, oh, well, I'll walk to the store. And then you find out, wow, this is a lot further than I could have ever imagined, because in my vehicle, it was like a few minutes and I was there. Now this is a long way to walk. And that you start to see the difference. And this helps us. This isn't a negative. It's there to assist us so that we begin to realize every single moment of this body that we're in is priceless. Every breath we take is priceless. Every movement we experience, whether it be pain, whether it be joy, whether it be orgasm, whatever it may be, is priceless. You know why? We don't know. We don't have that particular crystal ball that says, hey, Bill Johnson, you're going to leave the body on this date at this time. We don't know. Makes it quite a spectacular journey, doesn't it? And then we get to the point where we say to ourselves, you know, I'm in this body temporarily. I know that. You remind yourself of that. Say, and you go, I know I could leave it tomorrow. I could leave it in an hour. It could happen. That's why I savor every moment that I'm in this body. See, when you know what it's like, and you carry that with you, because all of you will eventually, when you're out of body and in body, you go, wow, this is completely foreign to me. I was used to being in that body. I was in that body, what 80 years, 90 years, whatever. And now I'm not in that body. And everything fades. It's like I use the example of, like a ham sandwich or something. And so a bunch of us get together and we try to, with memory, what is fleeting as it is, we try to figure out how to create a ham sandwich for him or her over here because that's what they want. They want to have that experience again that they had in physical form, the taste and everything, the texture, the smell. See? Now that may seem simple to many of us. Well, that's insignificant. It really isn't. Those little things become like, wow. When someone's tickling you, do you think you get that happens? None of this. All the material physical disappear. So what do we do? What do we do? We start making plans to enter another life, another body. That's why we do it. It's real seductive. You can imagine. But then you get people that lose hold. They lose everything. They lose their vision and their understanding, and they say, life sucks, and they want to leave it. And they do. Right now, people are leaving because they say, life sucks, and I'm going to leave the body. Oh, what a wake-up they have when they leave the body, and they go, oh, you got to be kidding me. I ended it prematurely. Why did I do that? All of us, sooner than later, when you do arrive at the core of your being, you authentically feel in touch with everything in this life. There is this 100% honest relationship that naturally happens with others. And you cannot lie to anyone or anything. You are with yourself in a way that you can only speak your greatest possible truth. Now, if you would lie about something, you would instantly feel a great disconnect and subtle pain with your core. A small fib makes you feel 1,000,000 miles away from home and living on some imaginary cloud made of unstable thoughts. It is only when we speak our truth, dive into feeling the truth of who we are, and live from this radical honesty that the magical core is naturally revealed. I'll join you in the meditation. I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose, and an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still, focused on your breath rising and falling, relaxed into the body. You know you're an awakening being when in the midst of chaos and suffering, you are completely at ease. And to arrive at this divine destination, you can apply 30 minutes sometime today. Meditate on a vast space of nothingness all around you. Do this in complete silence. Just imagine that you are somewhere way out in the universe, and for billions of miles in all directions, there is emptiness. Put on an eye mask and earplugs if necessary, so you do not see or hear anything. This spacious space is always available inside each and every one of us. And when you truly want to awaken the spiritual experience in your life, I invite you to dive into this spacious, silent place for as long as you can. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, and the following morning. We'll return here Sunday, August 18, 2024, a little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal gratitude at all times. Open your heart and let the magic flow in.